Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Ranking the Albums. This episode, we're going to look at the spectacular Latin rock sounds of Santana, a band who's been around for over 50 years, various incarnations, right? But always led by the unique and stellar guitar skills of Carlos Santana. A lot of albums. I'm missing a few of them, though. Missing a couple of the more recent ones. I'll tell you exactly which ones they are. Let's see. I am missing, and one of them I absolutely need to get. I need to get Shapeshifter, which was released in 2012. And I'm not sure. What's this Guitar Heaven album? Is that the one with the cover? Yeah, it's the one with the covers. I'm not really that interested in that. I've heard most of that. I also don't have All That I Am from 2005, and I do not have Corazon from 2014, and I don't have, and I will not be getting Africa Speaks from 2019. I heard parts of that. I understand where Carlos was going there, trying to do kind of this, African kind of rock thing. I don't know. I didn't really dig what I heard. Too much vocals and just not really for me. So no need to get that. I do want to get the Shapeshifter album. That's mostly instrumental. I've heard bits and pieces that I really like it. I don't know why I never picked it up, but I will be getting that. But you'll be hearing about all the others here. All right. So quite a few of them. All right. So let's get started. So you know how it goes. I'm going to rank these. Quite the stack. I'm like looking at them like, oh my God. I'm going to rank them the way I like them, from my least favorite all the way to my favorite. I'll say like the second half of the list, the bottom half of the list. I kind of was like, some of them are albums that I'm not nuts about. A lot of them are kind of hit or miss. There's some good tracks, some not so good tracks. They're not as strong as some of the best of Santana, but I don't dislike any of them. All right, I'll put it to you that way. Don't dislike any of them. So, you know what? If some of these you like better than me, that's totally cool. That's the way it should be anyway, where there's no way we're all going to rank these exactly the same. So I would assume that you guys are going to have them differently on your list. I encourage everybody to rank them as you like them, all right? You want to do your top 5, your top 10, you want to do them all? Hey, go for it. So remember, we all hear these differently, so there's no real right or wrong answer here. All right, so coming at the bottom for me, again, an album I don't dislike, but it's probably easily my least favorite, and I really wasn't that nuts about this period in Santana's career where he was basically trying, shooting for the pop charts and bringing in a lot of, the hip vocal talent of the day. I'm talking about 2002's Shaman. Again, some good songs on here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on some of the bottom of my list here, but a good mix of like kind of cool Santana-ish instrumentals and that kind of Latin rock that we always come to expect with, a lot of pop, a couple hip-hop type of things on there. The Game of Love has got Michelle Branch. You got Seal on here, Macy Gray, Chad Kroeger. All sorts of people on here. Some of it works. A lot of it doesn't for me. Like I said, it's very poppy. It's okay. They made a lot of money with these albums. Same thing next up is going to be Supernatural. This sold a shit ton of albums here from 1999. He did big business here. And again, this I was pretty into this when it came out. Looking back on it, though, it's like a mix of good Santana-ish stuff, some cool kind of pop rock stuff with all the stars of the day. You got Dave Matthews on here, Everlast, Rob Thomas, Lauryn Hill, all sorts of people. Some cool instrumentals, right? It's some good tracks on here. I think it's that one's held up fairly well just because of like how big it was at the time. Next up, I'm going to go with Freedom. All right, this was what year did this come out? In 87, I believe. Yeah, I had this actually on LP back in the day. I remember when this came out. I was actually I spent a semester at Ulster County Community College. And just one semester, and I actually was working in the campus radio station that broadcast, just on campus in the cafeteria and all the dorms and all that kind of stuff. And I remember this had just come out, and I was playing this quite a bit. Vera Cruz, Once It's Gotcha, Songs of Freedom, Digger, Deeper, Dig Deeper, I always liked a lot. This has got Buddy Miles on it as well, by the way. And Victim of Circumstance. Good guitar playing on there. All in all, though, kind of like a, inconsistent album. Next up, we're going to go with Milagro. All right, Milagro came out, what year was this? 1992. Again, hit or miss, some good stuff on here. I think some great guitar playing, as always, from Carlos. Chester Thompson around this period, mid-late 80s, early 90s, Chester Thompson, the keyboard player, helped out a lot with the arrangements and the songwriting. And, I think it kind of works, right? I think it kind of works. Like I said, good playing on it. It's not a spectacular album, but it's got some good stuff on it. Beyond Appearances from 85. I dig this album. It's got The Spectacular, Written in Sand. It's got Brotherhood. I'm the One Who Loves You. Say It Again. Is again more poppy, but still pretty cool. Touchdown Raiders is fantastic, breaking out. How Long? Good stuff. That's got let's get the lineup in it. Now, of course, I got the CD with nothing in it. This has got Greg Walker, Chester Thompson, Alphonso Johnson, all those guys. Next up, we're going to go with Shango. Shango, 1982. I kind of like this early 80s period. Little different. Again, more pop-oriented. I mean, Carlos was selling some albums, right? Having some stuff on the radio. Hold On, Alex Ligertwood. Right? Great singer. The Nile, Nowhere to Run, Nueva York. Body Surfing, some pretty good stuff on here. Same thing with Zebop, which came out, the year before it, 81. I remember this. A lot of these tunes were played on the radio, on FM rock radio. 101.5 WPDH in Poughkeepsie. I used to hear a lot of this stuff. All right, Searching, Winning. All right, played on those on the radio quite a bit. We got Changes, E Papare, E Papare. Good stuff. Tales of Kilimanjaro. Right, Hannibal. Good stuff. Let's see if we can get a lineup here. Can't remember all these lineups because, man, it was changing like the wind. Carlos Santana, Alex Ligertwood, Richard Baker, David Morgan, Raul Recao, Armando Peraza, the great Armando Peraza. Good band right around this time. This after a number of years of the Santana band just kind of really not selling a lot of records, right? All of a sudden back on the public eye. All right, next up I'm going to go with Marathon. Marathon from 1979, produced by Keith Olsen. You got the excellent Aquamarine, another great instrumental from the band. All I Ever Wanted was kind of the hit from this album. Summer Lady, Marathon, Lightning in the Sky. Fun album. All right, how about Spirits, Dancing in the Flesh from 1990. I remember buying this when it came out. I was pretty into it. I think it holds up pretty well. I think the title track is very good. It's Let There Be Light with Spirits, Dancing in the Flesh. A lot of cool jamming on this album. Gypsy Woman, Choose, Who's That Lady, Jingo Loba, Goodness and Mercy. I dig it. Good early 90s album from the band. All right, next up, I'm going to go with something they released not too long ago. All right, what year did this actually come out? In 2016, Santana 4. So this is kind of like a reunion of a lot of the classic members of the band. All right, from the 70s, of course, you got Greg Raleigh and Neil Schon. All right, Michael Shreve, Michael Carabello, Benny Ritzveld, Carl Perazzo. I dig this album. I think it's pretty damn good. Yambu, Shake It, Anywhere You Want to Go, Fillmore East. You got Ronald Isley sings on 2 tracks. Choo Choo, All Aboard. Caminando, good tune, Forgiveness. I don't know. I dig it. Saw them on this tour. Fantastic. I played this quite a bit when it first came out. Still like to listen to it every so often. All right, next up, we're going to go all the way back to Festival. Festival came out in 1977. All right. You got the very cool Carnival. You got the wonderful kind of Latin pop of Let the Children Play. You got Jugando. All right, what else we got here? Let the Music Set You Free, The River Revelations, Maria Caracoles, all sorts of good stuff. A lot of kind of salsa elements on that album too, which I kind of dig. It's a good album. Not for everybody, of course, but a good album. After that, I'm going to come up with Inner Sanctum. All right, Inner Sanctum from 1978. One Chain, Open Invitation. Open Invitation is a great song. Wham, Dealer, Spanish Rose. Again, a good mix of fiery instrumental, kind of Latin tinge fusion with some good pop stuff. Had a good band going at that time. Next up, we're going to go with Borboleta. Borboleta from 1974. You know, this is kind of still with, you know, the Caravanserai, which is the kind of the fourth album from the band, like the big kind of fusion album. So for a couple of years, Carlos was kind of deep involved in this jazz fusion thing. Okay, of course, you know, he was doing the Sri Chamoy thing. He was doing some stuff with John McLaughlin. All right. There's, you know, some solo albums, all sorts of kind of real jazzy stuff going on at the time. He was very into the spiritual thing. And Borboleta, another impressive album from that particular period. Spring Manifestations. What else? Give and Take is good. Aspirations. A lot of good stuff. God, the title track. I'm just looking up and down. I'm like, this is a pretty hot album. So, this is kind of the cream of the Santana crop for me. We're gonna go with Welcome also up there. Welcome is album number 5 from 1973. Very jazzy. All right, you still got Leon Thomas on vocals, Tom Coster. Tom Coster would play a big part in the band throughout the 70s. All right, you got Armando Peraza on percussion. You got Michael Shreves on drums, Doug Rausch on bass. You got Love, Devotion, Surrender on here. You got Mother Africa, the title track, Flame Sky, Samba de Sausalito. A lot of really good fusion-y stuff on here. Pretty happening album, I think. As is Amigos from 1976. It's got the absolutely addicting kind of Latin rock / salsa Dance Sister Dance. Baila, mi hermana, baila para mí. Dance with me, please, right? Take Me With You, Gitano, the wonderful Europa, okay, one of his most famous guitar instrumentals, Let It Shine, Tell Me You Were Tired. A lot of good stuff on here. Underrated album, I think. Now, all right, so the top 4 basically going to be in the order they came out because, these guys bust out of the gate with some amazing albums. And so number 4, we're going to go with Caravanserai, which is, for some people, hard listen because it's mostly instrumental. It's very atmospheric and very jazzy, very dense, kind of proggy even. And, no real hits on here, which the 3 albums that came before it, their first 3 albums, filled with, a lot of radio fare. Not here. So, you've got Song of the Wind, you got Stoneflower on here every step of the way, Eternal Caravan of Reincarnation. This is just a mesmerizing album. This is the album that you kind of put on, turn the lights down, close your eyes, and just kind of let it just infiltrate your entire existence. And some great guitar playing from both Carlos and Neil on here. A lot of cool percussion and, keyboard effects and things. Just a very, very cool album that if it wasn't for the greatness of the first 3, that would probably rank near the top for me. But, those first 3, you got Santana 3 here, Caravanserai also from 72, Santana 3 from 1971. Neil Schon, first time with the band on record. Incredible dual guitar mayhem on this album. I think this is a pretty rocking album. You got Batuka, you got No One to Depend On. I ain't got nobody. You got Taboo, Toussaint L'Ouverture. Great, great stuff. Everybody's Everything. Guajira, Vámonos Guajira, Jungle Strut. Everything's Coming Our Way. Really good feel-good song. I like that a lot. And today, the theme of today is feel-good music, right? Para los Rumberos. Just a killer, killer album. Always love that album cover, too. That comes at number 3. Number 2, we're going to go with Abraxas, the second album. All right, Abraxas, of course, came out in September 1970, Columbia Records. If I'm not mistaken, with the exception of Supernatural. I think this was Santana's biggest selling album, if I'm not mistaken. Singing Winds, Crying Beast, a little swelling instrumental that opens up and leads into Black Magic Woman, Gypsy Queen. Legendary right there. Of course, Black Magic Woman, a remake of a Peter Green song from Fleetwood Mac. Oye Como Va, right? Iconic. Incident at Neshaber, great song. One of my favorite Santana songs. A killer instrumental. Great guitar lick in that song. You got Se Acabó, good hard rocker. You got Mother's Daughter. You got Samba Pati, another legendary guitar-oriented instrumental from Carlos. Hope You're Feeling Better, great rocker, and El Nicoya to finish it all up. A legendary album. That for me, a lot of people could say, well, I think Abraxas is my favorite. Could be, but the problem is when you got this monster, which came out in 1969, August of 1969 on Columbia Records, man, hard to top the debut. I just think the debut is just absolutely incredible. They released this, and then they're playing at Woodstock, and they're just wowing everybody. And then that Woodstock movie came out, and it's like, Santana were destined to be superstars from that performance. But, what do you got on here? You got, Waiting. You got Evil Ways, Shades of Time, Savor, Jingora. I mean, come on. Persuasion. I love Persuasion. You got Persuasion. You got Treat. You Just Don't Care, the heavy rockin' You Just Don't Care, and of course Soul Sacrifice. This is a pretty hard rockin' album with some fiery guitar playing, some soulful vocals from Greg Raleigh, as well as his scorching Hammond organ. You can't beat that rhythm section. Dave Brown on bass, Michael Shreve on drums, Jose Chapito Arias and Mike Carabello on percussion. I mean, just such a great, great band. That original band, so happening. So I'm going to go with this one as my favorite today anyway. But I think, for me, those first four are just hard to beat. So let me reiterate the list rather than show them all again. We got coming in at number 1, you got Santana. Number 2, Abraxas. Number 3, Santana 3. Number 4, Caravanserai. Number 5, Amigos. Number 6, Welcome. Number 7, Borboleta. Number 8, Inner Secrets. Number 9, Festival. Number 10, Santana 4. Number 11, Dancing in the Flesh. Number 12, Marathon. Number 13, Zebop. Number 14, Shango. Number 15, Beyond Appearances. Number 16, Milagro. 17, Freedom. 18, Supernatural. 19, Shaman. And then, of course, I'm missing a couple, but they would, I think the instrumental one, what was the name of that? I'm forgetting here. Shapeshifter would... I like what I've heard on that, so I'm not going to rank it but I think that would rank a bit higher. As far as Africa Speaks, I did not like what I heard on that. Corazon, Guitar Heaven is the one with all the cover tunes, so we're not going to count that. So All That I Am and Corazon are the only other ones I'd have to hear. You might be asking, and I came prepared, some of you might be saying, well, Pete, what about the Marathon album? About the Moonflower album? Because that was almost half studio and half live. It's actually about 60% live, 40% studio. That, of course, is this one here. I'll talk about it today because I think there's enough studio stuff on here to warrant including in this conversation, and it probably would, if I was to just include it. I mean, the live stuff is great. All right, the studio stuff is pretty good. I would probably include it somewhere around Marathon or Zebop or Spirits Dancing in the Flesh, so somewhere about midway here, because there is a lot of pretty good studio stuff on here. Specifically, and let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. All right, let's take a look. So we got, from the studio tracks, you've got Dawn, Go Within, good stuff. You've got I'll Be Waiting, which is kind of a hit for them. That's a pretty good song. You got Zulu. A lot of little instrumentals and things like that. Bahia, okay. We've got She's Not There, which is, of course, is a cover of the Rod Argent Zombies classic. You got Flor de Luna, which is fantastic, probably the best of the studio stuff. What else? El Morocco, which is another great studio track. Transcendence, another great studio track. These are mostly instrumentals here. So pretty good stuff. I think if you're going to include the live material, the studio stuff on its own, pretty good. Maybe not enough of it, right? but it's more of a live album. But I think as an album in general, it works quite a bit. And as a live album, it's really good. I prefer the Lotus album a little bit better because it's kind of really raw and it's got, this great full performance of, the real jazzy part of the band. It's kind of chaotic and fusiony and all that kind of stuff. But I like that style from Santana. So there you have it, ranking the studio albums from Carlos Santana and company, otherwise known as Santana. Curious to see what you guys think. All right, how you rank them. Pick your top 5, your top 10, whatever, however you want to do it. But let us know what you think of this Santana catalog, right? That's what this is all about. To break away from life and talk about music we love, the albums we love, artists we love, all that sort of thing. So there you have it. So take care, guys. I went out for my walk. I took a break. I've been recording a lot today. I took an hour break, went on a long walk. It's actually a gorgeous day out here in the Hudson Valley, New York, upper 40s. Sun is shining, a little chilly breeze, but barely a cloud in the sky. So I went walking. Took like a 3-mile walk and stopped by the lake over here and kind of pondered life a little bit and just reveled in the beauty of it all. So, So this is the last one today. So I'm signing out. So tomorrow, I'm not going to do it today. We're going to save that for tomorrow morning. We're going to have Saxon top 10 songs tomorrow morning. Either also maybe tomorrow or probably Tuesday. Hopefully going to get to the Allman Brothers, ranking the studio albums, as well as ranking the live albums. So we'll do 2 shows there for the Allmans. Got stuff like Dio coming up. I want to do Accept top 10 songs as well. I know a lot of you have been asking for Accept. Going to do that as well. What else? God, I got such a long list of stuff. Anyway, as the week goes on, I'll introduce more of what's coming. So stay tuned, right? And visit us on the web at www.citytranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. So thanks again for watching the show on Santana, ranking the albums, and we'll see you guys later. Have a good night, good rest of the weekend, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.